Here's a live view of the Account at a Glance application in action. So when it first loads, it'll actually go out and wait for the data to come back and show a different view. So you can see the tiles kind of slide in there if I refresh it again. And we call this the cloud view, and then this is our grid layout. Now as we interact with the tiles, we can drag and drop them, and that allows the tile to resize. Notice that the resize is context sensitive. If it detects that we're going to a very small area, such as up here, you'll notice it just shows a smaller type amount of data and a smaller tile. If I drag it over into here, we'll get a little more details. And then if I drag it into the large area, we actually get a nice SVG chart that's showing. Now the kind of fade in, fade out that you see is basically indicating that the data is being refreshed and loaded every 15 seconds or so. There's a timer that fires on the client side to go and get that data. So in addition to SVG, which I just showed you, we're also using some jQuery plugins such as data tables, and this allows for quick and easy sorts and other operations that we're doing. I mentioned SVG. We're also using the HTML5 canvas to render the chart that you see here. And as the user goes out and, for instance, gets different quotes, they can get detailed charting views and details about the quotes that you can see in this area. So we could go out and search for another company, and you'll notice it goes out, provides that quote data, and brings it back. Now in addition to all of this, on the back end, we are using JSON, JavaScript Object Notation, to exchange AJAX messages. Everything is AJAX enabled that you see here. So as those tiles kind of fade in and out, an AJAX call is being made. The back end then goes out to a service that provides financial data and to the database, and then returns that data using JSON. And so we'll talk about how MVC fits into that role. And then the database calls on the back end that the application are making are made using Entity Framework code first, as mentioned at the beginning of this module. Now the users, as they interact, can also slide over. They can get to other tiles, as you see here. They can kind of slide back and forth just by clicking, and they can also go into that cloud view if they'd like to see a nice overview of the data. Now it also works in Chrome just as well. So here's an example of the application in Chrome. And we can do the same thing. We slide in and out of our different views, as you see here. And we can also drag and drop our tiles and rearrange things as we'd like. So in the rest of this module, I'm going to talk about some of the different technologies used, because there's several others that I haven't mentioned. And then we're going to talk about how this particular application is structured as far as Visual Studio solutions and projects. So let's go ahead and take a deeper look at some of the different technologies that are used to build the Account at a Glance application.